What is up, everybody? We are live. This is the RP Ginger here, and we have our Storm King's Thunder crew minus Octavios, aka Dan. He is currently in another game, actually, so rip him. We're going to have to make sure we kill his character while we can, because you guys are actually starting to get pretty high level now, and if I don't take care of you soon, I might not be able to. Level 8, the party has just made it to you on session 26. This one is titled Old Friends. Last we left off in the city of Luskan, the city of sails, the party got themselves smack dab in the middle of a brooding, transpiring event that's been building up to this point, and they kind of sent it over the top without even really knowing. The Hosstower mage Valish the Brown started a war against the pirates of Luskan, and the party, being smack dab in the middle of it, basically rescued a little girl named Lily Arbuckle, who was a friend that Warrendale met on the streets when he was badly injured. The party was made to believe that Kurth was this evil tyrant, pirate lord. But when they actually met the man, although he was intimidating and wielded a glaive that can make the earth itself quake, they realized that he's maybe not so bad. And what he was made out to be was not the case. A massive war between wizards, mysterious kraken spawn men that Sunlit has been inflicted by, and pirates went off. Absolute chaos. But the party was able to rescue Lily, stop Kurth from dying, and end the feud between the pirates and the wizards. We will pick up this session with the preparations being made to head back to the city of Fireshear. And when I say city, I mean more of a town, because it is a coastal mining city, which the party left about 4 days ago now. And that city had been raided by frost giants previous, and they headed to Luskan now to find supplies and get them shipped back to Fireshear with Kurth's fleet. So, we're going to say a day has passed now, and you've told Kurth the situation. You've told him that Draza sent you here, and that he was in trouble, and his companions, his friends, were also in need of supplies desperately. And Kurth looks to you all and basically says that him and Draza actually go way back, and that before Kurth was ever a pirate king or a pirate at all, he used to actually mine for Draza. So he was a miner, so he has no problems doing that. You come to the dock district of Luskan, and you see that Kurth has spared no details or expenses in this expedition. He has a fleet of 12 ships loaded to the top with supplies to rekindle Fireshears and feed those who are in need and rebuild the city from the wrecked giants, or the wreckage that the giants have caused. Before you set out, is there anything anyone wants to tie up as loose ends in the city of Luskan? Speak now or forever hold your peace. With that, then, no one's saying anything. You...
Well, no, not really, but, I can't imagine that Warrendale doesn't want to talk to that little girl.
Well, I was actually talking, but I was muted, so. Yeah, Warren would definitely try to catch up with Lily at whatever point she's available. Is she with Kurth?
So we'll say that you were basically, after the events transpired, she was kind of whisked away, and a lot of cleaning and dealing with the aftermath of the war. You didn't see her, so you kind of wake up the next day and things seem to be moving along quickly, and before you know it, it's time to board the ship basically, and there's still been no sign of Lily. But as you're just about to head up and start walking aboard, she says, You hear a small voice from behind you. Hi. What, you think you were going to be leaving without saying goodbye to me?
Warren will turn. Look at this little girl. He's come to potentially like, supposedly, maybe. He'll crack a bit of a smile and walk over them. So, what about me becoming your first mate here on the ships? Looks like you have a bit of a future. Still need a zombie crew, right?
She smiles. Well, it looks like to me that you're trying to leave. That's mutiny by my books.
I'll be back. I got a world to save, right?
What do you mean you'll be back? I'm coming with you. Kurth isn't going to leave me behind. Well, he told me it was. But, and then she kind of sneaks in behind you. You'll be my zombie distraction.
Well, so you want to come with us? Thought you were going to be queen of Luskin. The sea user.
I am going to be queen of the sails, but that old fart still needs to die. And for some reason, he keeps on breathing every single day. Breathing loud, that is. He's a heavy mouth breather. Quite obnoxious.
I have to agree with that one. But tell you what, Lily, you stay here. Keep things under watch. Wait for the old fart to die. Learn how to fight with the glaive. And I'll be back with a few goodies for you. I just expect you to hold to the deal because I got to be a pirate too, you know. Got to teach you the ways of the seas. You ain't never been on a ship.
This could have been my chance.
No, you don't have any joy with us. Stay here, become the queen. I just want to make sure that you do the best that you can and, you know, you don't forget about us lowly people like myself being your crewmates and such.
And if I stay here, who's going to look after you? You can barely keep your insides in.
Yes. I have a cat friend who thinks she's, you know, she looks up to me like I'm her father or something. I don't really understand her either. Livy's quite handy with a sword. They'll take care of me. That other guy who likes to whip himself and with the weird fetishes, he likes to save people too. I'll make sure they stitch me up good.
You certainly got some weird friends. But I must say, when I seen you all in action, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit impressed.
I get that a lot.
Don't get me wrong. You're still a shit pirate. And a stinking zombie, but...
A hell of a sorcerer. You can say it.
She says, thank you for saving me. And sorry about... and she kind of rubs her head. Sorry about swiping that vendetta on you there. If I'm going to be completely honest, that's the only reason I ever approached you. It just looked so cool that I wanted to steal it, but...
I know, right?
It turns out that I guess you were all right for a zombie.
You know how I got this bandana?
No.
Killed a giant. Several giants. Single-handedly. Up on the mountain tops of the Frost Mountains. Out on the ships. Took that bastard down. Stole the pennant. Rode it like a slave for a little while. The old priest was on the back hanging on like a bitch. It was a glorious time. I have to tell you the story sometime.
She's like, sure you did.
Yeah.
Well, and try to not die again. And don't be breaking your promise. I've had a lot of people in my life break promises to me. And if you'll be one of them, then I'll put you on my list too.
I don't break promises. I may be an asshole, but I don't break promises. But that all accounts on you. Don't break your promise of being your first mate. If I must be honest, from what I hear of the pirates, they treat their mates like family. I don't have a family, so me and you, how about we stick together, kid?
She says, yeah, we'll do that.
Good. Now run around and work on becoming a queen, because you got a long way to go.
Not too long, but all right. And she kind of steps back. You make your way on the ship, and you see that as you look, the other 11 sailing ships, these frigates, are all decked out with men climbing up the riggings, letting down the sails. You hear them hollering and getting excited to go on another journey. And then finally, you see the giant of a man that is Kurth begin to hobble his way out. And when you see this man, again, 7'2", barrel chested, having this captain's coat just draped over his shoulders, slowly hobbling with the Kurth's fury, this black glaive. But each time as he uses it as a walking stick, inching it forward, it taps the ground, and you hear a brief just as if the world itself is trembling beneath the weight of this glaive. And he slowly, heavily breathing like a troubled old man, makes his way up the ship. You see now that he has a very bad scar. This man was already riddled with scars, but now after the fight versus Valish, bandaged up, you can still see the singed and burn marks kind of over protruding the bandages that have been haphazardly wrapped around him, as if he didn't really care to even dress his own wound. You see these big, deep burn marks. And he says to you all, kind of looking, "Well, best we get going. Unless you want to stay here. You said that Draza needs us. Their men's been without food for 4 days now. Winter in its peak. They don't have much longer. We'll have to make haste for sure." And then he begins to make his way onto the deck, and there's literally a chair positioned at the captain's wheel. And he's such a big guy that when he sits down, he still sits like level with the steering wheel, and like literally sits down and mans his wheel. The ship is literally just called the Kurth. And as you look around, you see the adornment and like love of Kurth. His crew literally doesn't address him as captain or like sir. They call him old man or pops. Some even father. Because to them, Kurth is their father and their family. And in their own way, as you start to sail out and a couple of days begin passing, you hear tales of how Kurth actually took each and every one of his men in and gave them a life off the streets, a life off of the shitty crime that they used to do, and gave them a better way under his flag. So you set out. The sails drop. The wind begins to take. Kurth again slams his glaive into the side of the boat, and it actually trembles and begins to cause this wave that actually carries the ships out and gives them a momentum boost. This thing that he wields is a weapon of such power that literally it can destroy parts of the world. In a corrupt man, it would be dangerous, but now that you've met Kurth, you feel that there's probably no safer hand that it could be in. We're going to say now a couple days have passed. For bookkeeping sakes, Veltrek, Stewart, Deshara, and Screecher decided to come along. They could probably fly faster, but they can't really carry the supplies. So you see, as we are on like the second day now at sea, the coastline of the northern Icewind Dales to your north, the cool wind of the winter that still is hanging on now. You're in basically the last couple of 2 more months of winter still. Actually, you're kind of in the heat of it now, or like the thick of it. Midwinter is in a couple more 10 days, so it's cool, and you begin to see the ice coming off the shorelines and threatening each day to swallow the ships as you have to kind of sail out further and further. But we will jump now and give each of you an opportunity to say what you were doing on the ship for the next couple of days. There's not a lot that's going to happen, and we're going to actually start with Sunlight.
Oh, thanks. Um,
I rolled it.
no, it's all good. Yeah, so Sunlit has uh, something in common with a person that she doesn't particularly like. Maybe she slightly respects from time to time until he does a shitty thing. Both she and Warren have both died. So now maybe she would be considered a zombie person as his new little friend calls him. But she she wakes up on on the third day and feels a bit better than she has. Um, she wakes up and she's kind of feels different. She goes through that day. Um, I'm. So what does she look like at this point, Chris? Because did everything just fall off of her and now she looks normal again, or does she still look kind of jacked up?
So, previous to this day, Sunlit has been infected by this virus casted upon her by the shady mage called Niran. And this infection, or whatever it was, began to grow barnacles on you. Kurth literally killed you, summoning out the creature that was dormant inside you and then killing it, causing this parasitic basically disease that was on you. And as you look now, all of the barnacles and disgusting shells and whatnot have fallen off, but all across your back it has left a scar. The fur is starting to grow back though over it, but it is the scar as if a tentacle or an octopus has basically suction cupped different parts of your back, and it's all basically wrapped around it and coming up to around your neck. And as you feel at them, the fur kind of now growing over this white fur that you've now grown, um, you still feel it there as maybe a haunting reminder or a reassurance of what you've overcome.
All right, wicked. So the third day passes. She's getting used to be on the ship. The water phobia in which she has is still there, but it's not as intense as it used to be. She even maybe goes down to a lower deck and goes and out to a window and runs her hand across the water, trying to just get herself more comfortable with being around such things. That evening, as she goes to rest, and it's maybe the first time she's rested solidly in weeks, months, who knows how long it's been. It seems like a lifetime for her. But during that sleep, she has she starts dreaming again. But instead of the nightmares that she's been experiencing lately, it's her. It's her in a field that is gorgeous with flowers and long grasses. She's back in Mazteca in the stream. She's she's home. Place she hasn't been for, again, maybe a lifetime for her. She's had so many things happen to her. She's met a god and a goddess, lived to tell that. She's died and come back to the will of the god and goddesses that she follows by the way of the sun soul. While she's in this field, a great light comes to her, and it's so bright that she has to close her eyes in order to not go blind. And then she opens them again, and there's a vestige of a woman, all bathed in light. And she squints like you do when you are a child and want to look at the sun, which is very unwise. But as she's squinting, she can see this visage, and the goddess speaks to her. Your turn, Chris.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I thought you.
So her voice is all encumbering. It swells around you, it pierces your ears, and you feel it in every inch of your body. Sunlit, she says to you that you've been chosen by the light. Do you
What?
accept the path that you must walk?
But what do you exactly mean chosen by the light? I've been given so many gifts that I don't understand, and it all comes from the light as Henrik has told me. It's are are you saying that I'm getting closer to the goal?
She says, "Look upon me, my child." And as you hear her say that, the radiance doesn't go away, but for some reason it becomes more bearable to look at. And tell me, because basically when a deity presents itself, it's the interpretation of that person seeing it. So tell me what she looks like to you.
Yes, she opens her eyes and again it is much easier and less painful to look at. And the goddess Selene is not standing on the ground. She's floating above her with all of her majestic beauty. And in her time before she was a goddess, she was considered to be one of the most beautiful women in the realm. She has glowing red hair, full, almost like a crazy Disney movie that we all maybe seen. There's some Irish people in it, and it's flowing behind her. She's wearing all white, and at that point, she does step to the ground and puts her hand onto Sunlit's face. I I don't know how to accept what you're saying, Goddess. It is
She whispers and says, "A time of troubles is upon us. You have walked a path of darkness, but have found your way back to the light. We bless you for this, but challenge you to oppose the darkness and the trouble that now rises.
that
A war will be upon you. A war will be upon all of the world. You could be a champion of light."
I I believe I don't have a choice in that matter any longer. You know, everything has changed for me. I came here and I was a very different woman, and then I went through some pain and thought that the spirits of the world were going to fix that for me, and fell into alcoholism for a while. And you saved me from that through through a friend. And
She says, "Sunlit, you've saved yourself. And the choice is always yours. You chose to rise above, and you chose the path you walk now."
I suppose you're right. I I would take no other honor in on this on this life than to become a, a guardian of the light, if you'll have me. And she falls to one knee and bows before her.
The last thing she says to you is, "Then continue your path. It'll be a hard one. But there will be a need of light. There will be a need for light. You shall be that light. And then vanishes away.
Yes, and sunlight shakes awake, not knowing if what she had was real or if it was just a dream. But it must be because she feels very different. She kind of gets up and walks about the cabin in which she is sleeping. Maybe there's a mirror or something in there. She looks into the mirror, and somehow her fur looks even whiter than it was before. And she concentrates and realizes that she, by taking this oath with this goddess, has she feels different, and that stylistically, for those who are watching, I took a level in cleric, so now she is a light cleric along with a monk, and she looks about and thinks of trying to summon some of her radiant energy that she can do, but instead something a little different comes out, and it's very bright, and she knows that she has new abilities that she'll have to um, master and figure out. I would say maybe the morning comes almost sleepless again, but for a good reason instead of terror. And she goes to breakfast or whatever happens there on the boat, and she maybe arrives there a little bit late. She looks very tired, but again, not in a bad way. She sits down at the table with her two friends, and she goes, um, I, I, good morning to you all.
Morning.
It's a beautiful day. And you see it for maybe the first time in a long time. She's smiling, and she looks like she almost has a glow to her.
And I feel like Livy just would, I don't know. She'd note that for sure. Just kind of like, wow, there's something. But yeah. She's like, so feeling better?
I don't even know if better's the right word. Um, I I feel different. It's I dreamed again last night, but it wasn't like it was before. Not a nightmare. I saw my goddess,
Well,
and
exciting.
I believe that she has imbued something into me that makes me a little different. Um, and she goes, look, and she casts the light spell, which makes everything really bright in the room for a moment, and then turns it right off. Couldn't do that yesterday.
Well, fun.
I've been able to do that for a long time. Color me impressed.
But like Livy on that note would be like, I can do this now too. Just like witch's bolt, but just a very controlled, just like ta-da.
A very controlled, super powerful lightning bolt of dark energy ripples through the ship.
Well, tell me about. How did you get this new gift there, Olivia? And I guess
So,
for that maybe we'll switch over to whatever she's doing.
so on that note, kind of what I was thinking is like, since this is about day 3 and whatnot, like after being nearly fried from that lightning bolt. She's just kind of seemed quiet, and like even this morning, it seems like she's just in a better mood, too, and such. Like she's looking much more herself. But again, it was only like just 2 days where it's like, well, Livy's not feeling good. But yeah, and so yeah, when you ask like, so how'd you that? She just kind of looks and goes, well, you see, I had this vision last night, and it was amazing. I saw Grandpa in there, and he looks at me and goes, Livy, and he points to his right, and there's Paylor. And Paylor, he comes up and he takes my hand and he's just like, Livy, I need you to be my champion. I need you to go back down. Okay, go help your friends. Go right this mess that's going on right now. You have to go there, but you need to represent me. You are going to be my champion, and I will give you strength throughout this journey. And so, yeah. So this morning, just I wake up and it's like, look what I can do. I just feel this energy, and so that. But to be serious, I guess she like suddenly drops the voice, and probably the two of you and anyone else listening is just going like, "What the hell is she talking about?" She just goes, "No, not really. I just remembered this spell from back. I think the lightning actually did jog my memory. Back in school, this was one of the spells that I was trying to figure out, but I just couldn't get the knack for it. But now I can. So, yeah."
The subtle crossover.
if anyone asks, if anyone asks, you just be like, well, remember back in the castle of Zephyr, he was talking about those like people and all. No, there's like this book that has like this character like Gaia, and she's like, she was struck by lightning and believed that she was this champion of Palor and just went around proclaiming his name. I just thought, since I got struck by lightning, I would run with that. And anyways, I'm gonna go back to eating breakfast. So yeah, you have this new power. That's cool. So maybe something from the fight, or maybe now that the weird thingamabobbers are not on you anymore, it could be that your body is naturally open to whatever energies that you are experiencing, and so natural ability, talent, congratulations, you unlocked something inside you. Maybe you did while you were sleeping last night. That's
yeah, it certainly happened last evening. It seems like we both had something miraculous last evening, but it's I believe
I'm pretty
this
sure
really
mine was less miraculous.
yeah.
Wait, miraculous. What do you think happened to you?
Oh, I talked to the goddess Serene last night.
Okay.
No, I did. And she looks to Warren, who's probably giving her a shit look. I did.
And I believe it. I wasn't trying to be like, if I'd known that you had, I wouldn't have joked around my thing. Sorry if that came across as rude, but okay. So
no.
you're God, right?
Goddess.
Goddess, yes.
She's very
Sorry,
beautiful.
using
I
the
saw.
general term.
Yes. But
Sonny,
I
Sonny, I saw you down by the water last night. Are you sure it wasn't the walrus you were speaking to? Some people mistake them for mermaids. Very beautiful. They're really just ugly creatures.
it is not, my friend. And in her hand, she opens it up, and in her hand is swirling a bright yellow light, almost white, that looks drastically different than the Syrian arc bolts that she shoots. I have found different power, I believe. Actually, I don't think I found it. I think it found me. And I came for my goddess. You know how you know how our cleric here, is the one that likes to beat himself. My goddess isn't like that. She's more loving. Yes, Octavius, but where is he? Is he even on this ship?
Probably keel hauling himself.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen-
Octavius did give me a little write-up about what Octavius was up to. So what he wrote for me to say to you guys is that he definitely does continue his nightly martyrdom routines, but something has changed in him. After the big fight, you notice that his hair is beginning to grow whiter. His eyes now have an angrier look to them. Something unseen in the younger Octavius who started this journey. You now see that he does lash himself more often, more aggressively. But every day when he prays to the ring of suffering, it undoes that. He takes on these nasty scars, but then when he wakes up the next day, they're completely gone. Octavius has become quieter now. He only talks to you guys, and you see him muttering to himself about a knightly order called the Companions of the Noble Heart. Anyone that would ask him would say that he has had a change in himself now, and he's more focused now than ever on fighting and destroying those who are cruel and enjoy inflicting pain on others. He now refers to himself as the martyred champion of ill matter, and he is someone who will not only gladly take suffering from others, but he'll go out and search and bring an end to anyone that is causing suffering to those who do not deserve it. And he also says that he eats as many pancakes as Lily can make.
Gladly. Actually, that's one of the thoughts where I'm like, I'm sure with the preparation for leaving, Livy was like, we're going to make sure we have lots of flour for them. And can we get some chickens? Because we're going to need lots of eggs. Anyways, but that's pre this.
Yeah. So that leaves us with Warrendale. The journey is coming near an end now, and Fireshare in the distance. As we kind of pan back through these couple of days, what is Warrendale up to?
So for the most part, he's just been kind of working on the deck with the other crew members and stuff, mostly playing dice and taking whatever kind of money he can, but he plays fair most of the time. Sometimes. Really not very often.
He plays fair to those who deserve it.
Yeah. But out of everything, one thing you notice is he's getting onto this ship way back in the desk, back at Luskin. He came with his normal packs and everything, but he was carrying a small bag, almost like a small duffel bag with him as he got on the ships. As you see him now this morning, as Sunny comes down, is trying to flaunt her awesomeness, which he's not impressed by the way. But you'll notice looks a little bit different. He has since cut his hair down. He used to be longer, blacker. He's kind of cropped it off a little bit. His normal black and red robes that he always wore, gone. He has just basic pair of white breeches or white pants, a white tailored sort of suit with buttons down the front of it. You can see his name is kind of stitched in across his chest, and it says Warrendale, the Awesome. And beyond that, he seems to carry himself with a bit more pride. He does have a little patch on his shoulder, too, that has like a zombie skull on it, and it says First Mate under that. But otherwise, he's just been kind of hanging out on the ship, meeting his fellow crew members, and stealing whatever kind of money he can from them.
Excellent. So, before the journey ends and you guys actually come to Fireshare, there'd be one day, and you just see the camaraderie between all of the Kurth pirates. And again, they absolutely just adore Captain Kurth. But one day, as you're kind of sailing on the cold seas, sunlit, you hear him approach behind you, and you do hear this man approach from a while away because he literally sounds like a dying old man when he walks, heavily breathing out of his mouth. Every step is troubled. And then suddenly he just kind of stops behind you, brings his glaive to the deck. It rumbles beneath your feet just by touching it. The immense power that just is surging through this item that he has. And then you just feel him towering behind you because he is a big individual. Not many people are taller than you probably that are humans, but this guy's a big dude.
Hello, Kurth. How goes it today?
I never was much of a fan of winter. You see him. He's literally just bare-chested besides the captain's cloak that he has over, and he kind of pulls it in closer with his one arm. But I'm a man who repays the favors that I need. Draza gave me my first job. You, I also must repay a favor for. For if it wasn't for you and your group, I don't know if things would have ended the way that they did back there. Those marks on your back, the people that did that to you, they won't stop. They're persistent. Slarkathel is persistent.
Yeah, they are terrifying. I hope to never see them again.
You will see them again. Make no doubt of that. And prepare yourself for it. For even Vaelish is pitiful in compared to the powers that some of those Kraken society wield. Slarkathel power is unimaginable. He lurks in the deepest depths of the sea, but his reach is endless. And he warps and controls the minds of many servants that are unseen.
It's just so you said at one point that you've also had to deal with Sarkathal. How have you done that?
Well, this weapon right here didn't hurt. Suppose he eventually gave up. Or maybe he's just waiting for the right time. Vaelish showing up makes me think that it's probably the latter.
I fully understand that, actually. I wonder, do you know what's happening in this world? With the giants and the war that is brewing.
He says, I've heard that their father or God has forsaken them, and that they're all eager to prove themselves. Family's a funny thing.
Is that little girl really going to become the queen of your city?
He chuckles to himself. Is that so hard to believe?
She's just so young. Wouldn't she need an advisor? Is that going to be you?
I'm not much of an advisor.
And she hates you.
Well, her parents did die.
By your hand. Well, not directly, I don't think you said. But, well, what I can say is this, is I feel different. And I feel that from this experience, by being chased by the creatures of the depths, that I've been brought closer to what I really should be. And I thank you, Their Curse. I think that the impression of the people in your town are different than the man that I've met. Maybe she become a bit softer, a bit closer to the light. And she actually reaches up and touches him on the face and just gives a little bit of radiant energy to him. And because you don't want to fall and have your last day be with all this pain and anger.
He puts his face away from your hand. I've lived a long time. When my last day comes, I'll be ready for it. Consider what I've said to you a warning.
I appreciate the insight.
And he begins to walk away.
Hey, Kurth.
He stops with his back. He stops with his back turned to you and kind of gives you that look over the shoulder.
That I have a strange request. Is there? You said you're at your last days of fighting, and that you don't feel as if you have it in you any longer. You said that when we were in your bar. Does that mean you still need that weapon?
He looks back ahead and continues to walk away without answering you.
Yeah, it's just worth a try.
Your opportunity was passed when he was down at half HP and you guys could have stabbed him in the back.
Yeah, well, I think we made a good ally instead. So, well, it was lovely talking to you, Kurt. Are we almost there?
And with that, you see that the boat starts grinding against some ice as the shoreline has now expanded from the winter's cold. And as you look, you see a large, thick sheet of ice branching all the way out, but about a half-mile away, faintly, you can make out the mining settlement / city of Fireshear. The boats begin to anchor near the icy coastlines, and Kurth's men begin to unload the coats and food and supplies and utensils and everything that they lost in the attack against the frost giants. You begin to walk down this long white sheet of ice with the spine of the world encompassing your entire horizon of the north. You're in the Icewind Dales now, back in it. Luskin kind of at the ends of it. You now are back into its icy depths. And as you begin to walk, you begin to see faint little shadows coming out to meet you. And then one shadow that is not so faint, larger. And as they all begin to walk to you, you see some people that you haven't seen in almost a 10-day now. Actually, a 10-day to this day, I believe. You see Harshnag the Grim, the frost giant, that has joined you in your quest to figure out what's going on with the giants and reestablish the ordering if possible. You see Belladora, Sir Beric, Cyric, and even Bjornhilda, all running towards you guys, meeting you all. Belladora the first, with her long kind of wavy brown hair and that curiously kind of flirty look in her eyes and smile, and she says, "Took you guys long enough. All of us are starving out here. You know it's not very warm."
At least we're missed.
She says, "I'm kidding. You're quicker than I thought you were going to be. We were just getting bored. Harshnag's been doing what he can to fix the place, but it's not really my thing." And as you start to unload, you see Sirik basically run up and just, hey guys, thanks for coming back. We're kind of getting worried that something happened to you. You see,
Nervous laugh from Livy. Nothing can take us down.
mm-hmm. You see, Sir Barrick. Greetings, my friends. How was your journey?
Life changing.
Life's journey always is life-changing, Sunlit. Glad to see you again. And then Harshnag, you see that he actually has some mining children kind of adorned on his shoulders, and he kind of is coming along, doof, 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 stomping. He has this grim look on his face, this ever serious giant with this long, icy white beard and blue skin and piercing, almost kind of glowing eyes. And he looks to you all and says, well, are the Lord, are you ready? You've finished your quest. You've helped these people, as have we. But now, we have more pressing matters to take care of.
No rest for the good.
And then she's like, Bellador looks to Harshnag, like, geez, Harshnag, come on. Like, they've been probably traveling for a while now. I don't think we really need to get all serious about things. And then he kind of looks back and says, the giant war will be upon us soon. This is a very serious thing. It's probably already begun. And then they kind of quip back and forth. And you see that in your time coming, or your time away, that these 4 or 5 have kind of bonded a bit. Bjornhilda, this barbarian woman that reveres you, Sunlit, as a god, she comes out and she says, dropping to her knees into a bow, speaking in her broken English, but you can tell that she has been working on it. She says, I am glad, great white tiger, that you have returned.
Yes.
Maybe we continue the hunt.
I think that if you want to still follow me, we have a much greater hunt than what you think you may have for me.
And then she says, I will follow you, great tiger, into any hunt.
Have you been well?
Bored. She kind of looks up at you now. These people are lame.
Sorry.
She's been hanging out with Belladora too much, apparently.
So you and the young woman have been talking a lot.
Well, she does a lot of talking. I'm forced to listen. And Belladora's like, don't act like you haven't enjoyed it. We've had lots of girl time together. Ain't that right, Bjornhilda? And she kind of goes to like put her arms around her, and Bjornhilda pushes her away.
And the thing I think I noticed is there's maybe a couple braids in Bjornhilda's hair or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, girl time. Maybe all us girls can have that once we win this war.
Ooh, I have plenty of stories.
Always there, Olivia. Always. But it's I think I'm glad you're here, Bjornhilda. Thank you for being a loyal friend.
She looks at you and kind of gives you like a hard pat on the chest and says, "Do not forget your promise, though."
I would never.
Do you remember your promise?
No.
She insight checks you and realizes that and says, "Great tiger, you promised me a worthy mate, one of your men. to repopulate my people. And then she goes over and kind of sniffs Warrendale.
Yeah. And she just looks, and she looks down at Wardell. She looks up at him. Well, I only know two. I only know two men. And there's one that is kind of, you don't want him. You don't want him. But this one here, he's vile. He's arrogant. And he says he's the best. So maybe that might be great for you.
The great white tiger speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He is quite small. But I think, I don't know.
That's a slight great white tiger.
Yeah. Well, you two have at it. If it's somebody you like there, Bjornhilda, certainly that would be a great. And she can't even finish the sentence. Why don't we look for some other men as we make our travels? And she kind of grabs at Bjornhilda's arm and like starts to lead her away.
Yeah.
No.
Sounds like a great hunt. So you guys kind of go back to the camp, and you see that the Bryn Shander gang, as I've titled them, has made some modifications. They've repaired a lot of the damage that the giants have done, but you see that a lot of men, children, and women are definitely getting famined and a bit thin, cold. But luckily, due to the haste that you made, there was no casualties. Everyone kind of hung on, and you're now sitting in like the tent of the three mining factions, Zeldaron, Thrakram, and Drava. And Harshnag, not able to fit in the tent, is kind of sitting outside in the cold, and basically asks you all if you remember our path or our mission. He probably says path at first, which strikes you as like ironic, Sunlit, but then he says like what we must do, our mission. And this could be a refresher since it's kind of been a little bit of an off time if you guys don't remember.
I believe we're trying to I believe catch up with that one guy who has the medallion. And
yes, back at the I can't remember the name of the place, but like the door.
Schwartberg.
We have to go find the Allfather, right?
Allfather, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, he says that we must go to the eye of the Allfather, deep in the spine of the world.
But we can't because that man took the medallion from us, Starshag.
I believe he was headed that way, though, if I'm not mistaken.
The Oracle's lens will lead him to the Eye of the Allfather.
I will kill him, you know that.
Not if I first.
Harshnag, you're much greater than I. But please give me that glory to put the beautiful death upon the man that cursed me.
He says, I think I can arrange that. But any who seek to use the Allfather to gain knowledge that is not theirs, not earned, that person must be punished. And then, yeah, he basically tells you that the Eye of the Allfather, deep in the spine of the world, in the northernmost regions of the mapped world of Toril, you guys must walk past Mirabar, past the mines of Mirabar, up near, where are you actually heading? Because he actually knows the location, which makes it a lot easier for you. Basically, like high up one of the largest mountains in all of the world, and it's this Arctic, savage, undiscovered wasteland. He tells you that we have two paths in which we can take. We can follow the northern means to Luskin, down the Blackford Road, breaking in Mirabar, and then finally following the valley of Kildren up into the mountains. That will take well over a month. Or we can take the harder march, but cut it down to 18 days if we march hard and swiftly. We'll cut through the Cloudland Vale, over the Raven Rocks, past the mines of Mirabar, deep up the mountain. But if we take that way, we shall save almost half the time.
That is a hard bargain.
I'm sure the second of the two is much more treacherous.
Do you have the map that you can share by any chance? Or what it's called? Because I can bring it up. I just don't know which one it is. You muted, Chris.
Yes, I am. Let me see if I can find the player's version.
So I got the Sword Coast map. I don't know if that's it or not.
Yeah, I think that one is the one that I shared with you guys. That one actually is the DM's map, but I don't know if there's actually a player's version of the Sword Coast for you guys. Sword Coast map. And then we'll do this. Storm King's Thunder, where is it? If you have that map, though, that does show you everything that you could want to see. It actually is like the DM's version. So it actually will show you even, which is fine by me. It's fine by me because Harshnag knows where the Eye of the Allfather is.
Right,
So let me just share that to you. And you all should be looking at it now. I guess I will even screen share. I could have done that also. So screen sharing, let's do this. You guys are in Fire Shear.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were up that high. Okay.
The path that he offers is the much longer one down the northern roads or the northern means to Luskin, and then Blackford Road to Mirabar, and then you can follow this valley up into the heart of the mountain and then basically to the Allfather. Or you can cut down a lot of time by basically just going straight through to the Allfather.
I say we do it as quickly as possible. We can pass right through the Cloudland Vale, and I have no problem with that.
Would going more directly put us past Bryn Sanders?
Bryn Sanders is very north.
No, I don't. I'm assuming you know what I'm trying to go do. Because I've kind of missed my companion that I left behind there. Is there any way that we could stop by there and get relics? Or would that just put too much time on?
Harshnag quite out of the way.
Harshnag would be like, super inconvenient is the look on his face.
Yeah. Well, it was just a thought. If we make it through all of this, I guess I know where I need to travel before. Or maybe he just found a beautiful new owner, and that would be great for him. It's fine. It's direct approach. That sounds best for me.
Bellador like, no. I'm sure that your winged cat is probably more important than the world being destroyed by giants.
Belladora.
Yes, son.
Familiars are very important, but I don't know if this guy's a familiar for you.
No, it's just a friend.
Yeah.
But
anyways.
Last I saw, there was some gnome children trying to ride on your pets. That's just what I saw.
And as we're sitting here, I'm sure Bjorn Hilda is with us. She looks across the table to Bjorn Hilda. I'm sorry. I misspoke. That man there and this woman, they're perfect for each other. He must be taken by her. And she just kind of smiles at the two of them. And maybe a little side head, like cute little like curtsy thing.
Bjorn Hilda begins this. Bjornhilda begins to skirt her chair over towards you, Warrendale.
Yes. Perhaps later I can teach you the ways of my lightning rod.
She looks at you and says, "You will be a pitiful mate, but we must start somewhere." And then, nonetheless, it's up to you guys. The direct path through the Cloudland Vale to the Eye Father, basically cutting down quite a bit of time, but you're losing a lot of luxury for sure.
I'd be perfectly fine. I say we go to the Cloudland Vale. See his bit of a smirk on his face.
Livy would agree. You know, sometimes it's the path less traveled that gets the best of stories.
You see Sir Beric and Belladora basically talking to Cyric, and then Cyric's kind of whispering, Are we going to tell them? I feel like now's the time that we should probably tell them. And then Belladora's like, shut up.
All right. Cat's out of the bag. What's up?
If you look, and then Cyric's like, I just can't not tell them. Sorry. It just feels like I'm lying, and I'm never able to lie. She's like, God damn it. Well, I guess we'll let the cat out of the bag. No offense, Sunlight. We have been talking a lot since you're gone, and I think it's great and all that you're going to this Eye of the All Father, and you're going to speak to this mighty oracle of the giants and learn what's going on. But me being a part of the Harpers and Cyric being a giant magnet, essentially, I think that this might be a time for us to go our separate ways. I know you guys are going to miss me a whole bunch, and I'm just like, I can't even bear to think how many tears you're going to cry, especially you, Warrendale.
I was hoping you'd join me and Brunhilde, but I understand.
I'm sure you were, she would say. But I think I need to get this kid to the Harpers. We're going to head to Waterdeep. I can offer him protection there. We can figure out what's going on, and maybe with him we can find some clues as to where his father is.
Ooh, Waterdeep. Tell my family I say hi.
Yeah, it's a bit of a home for some of us.
Mm-hmm.
You see Sir Henry. Tell him I said hello and that I'm doing well.
Yes, definitely. We'll tell everyone you said hello. No worries. 100%. And then Sir Beric's like, it has been a great journey and a quest with all of you. I will miss you all dearly. But I am needed with these people. You can count on me, Sir Beric, to provide a safe travel and route for them.
All right.
Does that mean you're traveling with them as well, Brunhilde?
Warren will frown a little as he looks over at his new friend, lady friend.
Bjornhilda says, I would much rather come with you, Great Tiger. But if you think that the hunt is with those individuals, then I will follow their trail.
I will say this. If you think that you need to protect me, as you said you had to, I would not deny that protection.
Then I will come.
But if the DM doesn't want to bring a whole bunch of people with us, that's fine as well.
No, I was planning for Bjornhilda to stay. Belladora, Sir Beric, and Cyric are planning to leave and go to Waterdeep, and they would say that if you want to meet with us later, find. And then she basically gives like a description of. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. I might not be able to remember though. I can't find it. Who the heck?
Waterdeep. I wish we could do the roll 20 thing, but it's down here.
Yeah, I know where Waterdeep is. I'm pulling it up. I'm just trying to see if I can remember. No, sorry, it's escaping me. But she'll basically describe like a place, which is like this nondescript little like alleyway or something like that, and will say to speak the word crescent to a homeless man, and then you should be able to get in contact with me. Got it? And then she's like, I hate saying goodbye. That was awkward. We'll probably leave in the morning. So yeah, there's that. She kind of says. And then the other details that you need to decide upon before you guys head out is you hear the screeching and squawking of Veltrex. And then you go out and look and you see that there's kind of snow cluttered in their wings, and they don't seem to be enjoying the weather. Feldrex, this mighty black feathered griffin, and Stuart are kind of playing back and forth with each other. And then you see also Screecher and Deshara, a retired Griffin Cavalry dwarf, just kind of wrangling a lot of them and playing with them. And she kind of looks at you, Sunlight, as you come out, and say, "They're two really good griffins. Lucky to call them your friends."
Yeah, it's actually, it was really a friend of ours that we got to know them from. Do you think it's a wise decision to have them come with us?
Fast travels.
Well, I could definitely get you there a lot quicker. Although flying farther north, this is about the brink of what kind of weather that they can handle. I'm sure wherever you're heading isn't to safety and luxury.
Clearly not. Could you take care of them?
It would be my honor. I used to have, before the giants attacked, a griffin roost. I trained them and instructed people on how to ride them. I could watch them for you for now, protect them. They could actually help us here.
He's a bit unruly.
The winters are shit. The summers aren't so bad. We're far enough south that the snow will melt down here.
Yeah, he's
Veltrex kind of like now sees you coming and then hops over to the snow and gives you like a tough head bob, like a headbutt, almost knocking you over.
yeah. So hey there, boy. You're gonna be staying here, and we're leaving. It's and she's stroking his head. I wanted nothing more than to spend my days with you. But where we're going, it's not proper for a griffin.
Kind of gives you a cockeyed
Do you
look.
understand me?
You see the anger, not anger, but like, I guess like he understands you for sure.
You're leaving me?
Yeah. That's the look. That's the look he gives you, like a sad dog when it realizes that you're going on vacation.
Da. But I'll be back. It's something that once we take care of the problem we have here, we can spend the rest of our days together. It's you even fly all the way across the ocean, and I can show you my homeland.
Give me an animal handling check to see if he's pissed at you or not.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Like, it's still. She's not an animal handler. She just rolled really well every time I've had to do this. Let's see, but not this time.
Veltrix kind of turns around, kicking snow up at you, and then walks away and does a little circle in the distance, and then lays down in the snow, turns its head to you, looks away. Stuart, just kind of confused. He's not the smartest of the griffins. He's just kind of standing there and squawking at you and looking back and forth between you and Veltrex.
It's all right, Stuart. And she goes up and pats him a couple times. Stay here with Beltrex. And our new friend. She will take care of you and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Veltrex or
And
Deshara will come up and be like, "Don't worry, they're stubborn creatures. She'll get over it and forgive you. I'll take good
I
care
don't
of
know
them."
if he will. He's been through a lot. He was owned by a giant there for some time. Who, when you came and got us, was the head that, whatever. It's not a huge story. But treat him well,
Of course.
and if you maybe, maybe you make some little Bellatrix babies, and when you come back, maybe I can have his offspring.
She's like,
Not with you,
"Oh,
of course.
I didn't sign up for anything like that, but yeah, I'll keep good care of them."
You don't breed them.
She would say, "I haven't."
Maybe that's a goal you should work towards.
Yeah,
But
sure. I'll work towards that.
Mashara, it was lovely the help that you've given me and my friends. Thank you so much. And again, just take care of our friends.
Absolutely. Safe journey, Sunlit. And she goes and begins to call the griffins over for feeding time. They go to run over to their stalls. You catch Veltrex looking at you one more time, but then when you look at each other, she turns his head and walks away. But lets a loud squawk as you hear it, almost like a sign of goodbye. In the cold winter nights, you hear it kind of carry on. Anything else that you guys want to tie up before you actually hit the road? Clouds and Vale being the obstacle or the course that you are pathing through.
Nothing from Livy.
All right, then. You wake up
Mm.
to a cold, icy tent. The fire is smoldered down to just embers and barely keeps the warmth inside. You crack open the flaps and see the drift of snow is kind of carried up and all but whited out one side of the tent. You look to your northeast, the direction that you must head, and you know that you have at least an 18-day journey through the Clouthen Vale, up the spine of the world's mountains. Belladora, Cyric, and Barrick are already packed. They say their final goodbyes and just remind you that if you're in Waterdeep, seek them out. They can help after you get this done, and they will help. The war has begun, and we'll need everything that we can to fight these giants. And they begin to walk away. So that leaves you with Harshnag, Bjornhilda, and the four of you. And you begin to set out eastward. And let me pull up the map again.
As we're walking along,
Hey,
Go ahead, Warren.
as we're walking along, I wanted to talk to Harshnag and be like, so let's just say, we don't quite make it in time, or so, something goes wrong. What are the giants looking to destroy everything, or is they just gonna fight with one another? What the hell are they doing here?
Well, the giants are trying to regain the honor that the Allfather once held for them. In their mind, the ordering being shattered is that the Allfather, Anam, has lost respect in the giant community, the giant kind. I know my brother, Strolvad, wished to prove himself and earn the top position in the ordering for frost giants by plunging the world into an eternal ice age, killing all small folk and giants ruling above all. I imagine each of the cast have their own plan as to how they could regain favor with the Allfather. And I imagine that none of them are that of a way of peace.
I see. So it's more about them looking to take over the world more than it is them fighting amongst each other.
I imagine it's more just them fighting. Doesn't matter who.
I see.
And any other questions? Then you begin to walk, and the first day you actually follow the 10 trails, which leads up to the 10 towns, Bryn Shander being one of the 10 towns that you guys actually came from. And as you hit the fork towards the northern means, you begin to cut just completely east into the mountainous terrain that is the spine of the world. And as you look at this mountain that carries on for as far as the eye can see, and quickly descends up into the clouds itself as if it goes to the heavens, and probably carries on that much further. We have kind of that montage scene, Lord of the Rings, of you guys like walking over these icy rocks and carrying yourself through waist-high snow as these blizzarding winds blow, and it's absolutely shitty conditions. And I'm going to say that actually before anything even apparent really happens, 4 more days go by. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We find ourselves on the 14th day of Nightel, which is the last month of the year in Terrell. Just a month and a half away from midwinter. So you guys are literally in the thick of it. And on this icy cold day, you look ahead and you see what almost looks like a crater in the snow. And as you approach it, you see that the snow itself is completely melted down to the ground. And then as you approach this crater, you see that not only is it sink down and as if something dug it up, but the melted snow begins to carry on for a distance, many miles eastwards. Just this large excavation site. You're muted, Corey, if you're trying to speak.
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry. Where are we, Harshnag?
Harshnag approaches. Actually, let me pull him up and do an investigation. You're free to do so yourself if you want. But Harshnag with a 16 says it looks like something was digging here. And with a 16, he points at a hole, this long, large cylindrical hole. Sorry, I'm stumbling over words there. As if something long and cylinder-like has been pulled out deep in the hole, something uncovered, and then dragged away. Doesn't look like a Remmer has. I'm not sure what this is. Anyone else that wants to make an investigation check can.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm not going to try. It doesn't make any sense for me.
Investigation. If it will register.
I suck at it, so.
Huh.
What you got, Livy?
3rd time's a charm. Well, 9 plus 3, 12. So I don't know why dropping it in chat isn't working, but there you go.
All right, yeah, you don't. With that, none of you
slightly better.
None of you roll higher than Harshnag, so you guys actually don't notice anything. Strikes you as weird though that there's just like this long excavation site, as if some enormous dig site has been held here for some reason.
And where are we on the map?
On the map, you are literally. You guys still looking at it?
Mhm.
Probably around here. Oop. Somewhere around there.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were as far as the mines yet. That's what I was.
Nope, you're pretty far away. You travel about 1 square a day.
About 1 square day. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out what that is just to go see, right?
I suppose you're right.
Or we could just.
Yeah, it just looks like a hole in the ground. I say we continue on.
All right. It seems to be going in the way that you guys are heading anyways. So unless you guys want to do something in particular, you begin to follow. And as you are doing so, you see, hold on, let me pull up a picture. Some in the distance, I actually just realized I'm like screen sharing possibly things I shouldn't be. Some I dropped them down. Hold on a second. I'll pull them back up. Little fiery creatures. Magman, since I already spoiled it. Dancing around in this little excavation site. Basically hucking fireballs, like little fire, not fireballs, but little bursts of fire back at each other and kind of playing around. You're muted, Livy.
She's just kind of commenting quietly to her people, just like, they look warm.
They do look quite warm.
I think they're friendly. Let us camp with them for the night.
Perhaps we can bottle them. Great white cat. Why don't you impress them with your new skills? See what they have to say.
Nah.
Nah. So, what do you guys do? You just kind of, oh, there's fire guys. We're gonna look at them.
What can I do a history for like lore? Like, would she know what these
Yeah,
creatures are?
You see about 3 of them.
Like, what?
You see about 3 of them, and go ahead, do a history check, Arcana check, whatever you want.
Come on, work. Oh, that's an 11.
They seem like they probably are elemental creatures with an 11.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't think I don't know what their demeanor is. Like, I guess I could default to like what most fiery creatures tend to have, a temper of sorts.
Let me take a look.
Spirit. Any of you happen to know these creatures or anything about them?
I got a 21 for my Arcana.
Cool. So with a 21, you recognize these as what they are, Magmen, and they're mischievous little stumpy humanoids that are sculpted from the black shells of magma. You know that they are quite basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Not explosive, but like hot, sure. And you know that they're normally like summoned elemental little spirits, and that usually they are brought to this plane by some kind of spell or item that locks them here and controls them.
Yeah, I'll just relay that off to you guys. Think of them as goblins that fight fire. That's the best way I could describe them. But like somebody else brought them here. So.
Maybe there's somebody else here.
Well, we probably should just nose on past them. And...
yeah, I said we could easily scout around. Shouldn't take too long. Maybe just.
So.
Like, I'm almost tempted to throw some of my rations at them just to see if we can, friend them. But at the same time,
Livy, as you're saying that, you notice that like a strange shadow has kind of fallen upon you.
Oh, great.
And as you look up, you see a massive boulder flying towards you. You see it coming though, and you jump out of the way.
Yeah, I'm like, she's gonna hit the deck so fast, like face plant the nearest snowdrift, just like, and she's gonna shout out, "Watch out!" Just real loud.
So you hit the deck, rolling over the way, and boof! This massive, human-sized rock comes smashing through the icy snow. You look on the distance, and since you guys are just kind of standing there talking back and forth between yourselves, I rolled a perception check, and this gentleman, who is massive in size, toting this black as ore armor and this massive sword, completely red hair and almost looks fiery hot. A fire giant is standing there throwing a rock at you guys, and now picks up his sword and begins to point, and you see a little ring on his finger. I guess I probably should have made you a perception check, but you see it because I said it already. And the little magmen begin to dance over to you guys. Roll some initiative, you motherfuckers, standing there talking back and forth. Just kidding.
Huh.
If you all won't react, I'll react for you.
We were more like, nope. Not interested.
All right, we got one in the initiative. We got a natural 20 on Sunlit. Nice job.
Oh, great wasting.
I like it. Listen, a natural 20 is never wasted, okay? Especially when it's not spent on an attack.
Asshole.
What you got, Libby?
I've rolled like 5 or 6 times and nothing's sticking, but the last
Look at
one
this.
4, so
Did it for
3.
you. Did it for you on my first try. You got to click the initiative on the main sheet, the +3, and you just double click that, and it's
Double click.
Yeah.
I'm just going, hey, would you look at that? Cool.
All right. There you go. Since you did that one, we'll let you keep it since it's much worse than the one that I rolled. That puts us in the initiative. So up first is Sunlit. Go ahead. As you see this huge in size frost giant now standing there. I forgot to roll freaking Octavios. Let me do that. And I guess I also forgot that Harshnag's a part of the party now. Oh boy. Let's get him in too. And we'll say that Bjornhilda, you can call upon her to roll at advantage. Sunlit.
Okay. Do that thing. That's fine.
Yep.
Now, how often can I do that?
Once a round.
Once per round. Okay.
What's that, Warren?
There's Hellhound too.
Yes, you also see barking. This hellish hound that seems to come up to the side of the giant and is a rather large, fiendish-looking creature with a belly of red fur and a top half of completely dark, hellish energy.
Wait.
What you got, Sunlit? You're up first.
All right. Well, how far away is it from us?
The giant is a total of 60 feet away.
Okay. I think that she would certainly look about, so on and so forth. And says, I guess we need to fight that, huh, Harshnag? And she kind of moves, not towards it, but kind of diagonal to kind of flank it slightly. You know what I mean? And I would like to, and she closes her eyes for a moment and reopens them, and her eyes turn completely white. There's no pupil, there's no nothing. And she looks towards this giant that she had no quarry with. And prays for a moment to Suane. And when she opens her eyes back up again, they are back to what they normally look like. And she conjures some very white, hot energy into her hand and throws a bolt of energy towards it. I'm casting Guiding Bolt first. So we're going to do that.
All right, cast away.
Let's see how that works. It's probably not the best answer, but you gotta try use new toys. 15, that ain't gonna hit.
15 ain't gonna hit. It blasts into his massive black plate mail armor, but seems to have literally no effect on him. He begins speaking in
that's
giant.
That's not great.
All right. You're done?
Yeah, it's
all right. He's up next. He jumps up and what?
Nope, nothing. It's on a hit, so I just want to make sure.
All right. You throw a guiding bolt. He chunks his sword into the ground and loosens like a kind of crowbar, a huge boulder, picks it up above both arms, and whoo, throws it 60 feet at you now, Sunlit. Oh my god, I rolled a natural one. Awkward. Boulder bashing away.
Falls on his head.
Yeah, boof.
Just like thought he had a good grip and it just rolls out of his hand.
Yeah, awkward. He bounces it on his head momentarily and it kind of rolls down the hill, yelling out in Giant that he must crush, because Sunlit, you speak Giant. We must crush the small folk who have seen this embarrassing scene that has fallen on my head. And Octavios is now up, and I guess I am playing Octavios tonight, which is awkward because I don't know what he does. But I will cast. What would he do? Bless? Does he have Bless? I'm going to cast Bless on Warrendale. I'm going to cast Bless on Livy and Sunlit. And he says, "Get behind me, guys. I will take all the boulders." Although Octavius doesn't sound like that at all. Next up is a little magman creature. They're a little bit closer to you. They're going to move their distance, and we're going to quickly read what he does. Exploding, blah, 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 blah. Gets up to you, Warrendale, and begins to breathe in. Then you see fire kind of spinning in his mouth, and I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
And actually, no, we're not going to say Libby's in it. You succeed, so you take half of 7 damage as he literally does this little burst of fire that shoots out of his mouth. This, how big are these creatures? They are gnomish in size, and you see them or hear them speaking this strange primordial language. That is up for him, and as a bonus action. And as that finishes, he bonus action and begins to set himself ablaze and just creates this blinding light. When you're trying to strike him with a melee attack or range, actually, you'll do so at disadvantage because he's so bright right now. Next up, Warrendale. A little impish magman has shot a fiery blast at you, and a giant rains boulders at your friends. What do you do?
Right. Is that guy in melee range, or can I move without provoking him?
He stepped away 10 feet from you, so he's 10 feet away.
Perfect. In that case, I am going to just cast Mage Armor to help me out for the moment, and then just move 10 feet away with the spell.
Okay. Do you want to cast Mage Armor on yourself, or did you figure out how to do that? Okay.
I'm going to give it a shot anyway, yeah.
All right. Harshnag is going to boom forward, pulling out his magical great axe, Gert, and come slamming down on that little impish shit, he calls it. Slamming down on Mr. Magman at disadvantage. Definitely hitting and absolutely crushing it and killing it. Poof! It poofs into a little bit of fire. and that will be up for him. The Hellhound now also barking, springing into action, jumping from rock to rock with the speed that only a canine like this hellish creature could have. And it will come to you, Livy, and it's actually going to position itself because it can move pretty quick in a way that I'm going to need Sunlit and Livy both to make me a dexterity saving throw. Bless is hooking you up with that +1, 26 on Livy, and a juicy natural 1 on Sunlit. You fail, Sunlit, so you take the full fiery breath from this Hellhound, 20 damage and half onto Mary. All right.
All right. Hold on. Is that a thing that I can evade?
Maybe I'll let you look it up as the Magman will come forth and try to bite into you, Warrendell, rolling a 21, which I'm definitely going to assume does so. And you have damage on you. Oh, yeah, because he fire blast you. He did 17 damage. Jesus, these guys have a nasty little bite. As he chomps into your arm, you don't think it's going to hurt that much, but then you just see that his teeth are almost like black hot magma, and it just begins to light your arm on fire as you yell out in pain. You bash it away, and it kind of falls down to the ground, laughing hysterically, kind of impishly. Livy, you're up next.
Awesome. So this Hellhound that's basically kind of just charged up and blasted fire. She decides that, I'm feeling particularly like I should pull out the rapier again, whatnot, and we're going to do True Strike and double click on that for 20 to hit.
Who are you going after?
The Hellhound.
All right, do so.
Excellent. And let's see, double click. Hey, double clicks work. Awesome. So she just leaps at this Hellhound and stabs a rapier right into its leg as it's just like, reaction to this fiery blast. And also, now that her turn is done, that's all I'm going to do for her turn. I need to zip back over to the doghouse, so I'm going to be off for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll be back.
Okay.
Right.
See ya. Last Magman is going to shoot a fiery blast at Octavios, who...
Doesn't she get extra attack because she's a fighter?
She would have, but she True Striked, which used her action. Yeah.
Okay.
And Octavios is going to take 11 damage. And he succeeded on his con save, so you guys are still blessed. Lily is no longer in the initiative. The Bryn gang has been disbanded. Veltrex is left behind. Sunlit, you are back up at the top of the initiative.
Okay, so I am in melee with this Hellhound, or I'm not?
You're not in melee with it. It cone attacked you with its breath attack. It's about 15 feet away from you. Livy jumped forth and started to attack it. You also have... No, you don't have anything else. You have the Fire Giant's attention right now as he's holding rocks, but you don't know what he's going to do on his turn.
Okay. How far away is the Fire Giant from the Hound?
A good distance. The Fire Giant's sitting like 60 feet away.
Okay. All right, yeah. She's just going to close the distance in which she needs, which is only 5 feet. So she's within 10 feet of it now. And I'm going to use that whip.
Whip it up.
Whip it good. Oh, that's a real good whip.
Nice.
So we'll do that, and then this is that. So that's 8 damage. I'm gonna blast some. I'm gonna do some key on that. And Fury Blows. Bam.
And this is on just to make sure the Hellhound, right?
Yeah, it's all in the Hellhound. I should have done this better. Sorry.
No worries. I just literally figured out a game-changing thing that I can drag and drop the damage that you guys done onto the creatures, and it just does it.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's all the things. And yeah, so she's just like swirling this, the whip around, and the chain is going back and forth. She's become quite proficient with this at this point.
Yeah, you
And it's
literally almost kill the hellhound in your couple of strikes. You just quickly whipping at it, and zip, you rip across and cut along its front leg. It yips back in pain. Then you hit it again before it even has time to react, cutting right down its head.
yeah, and she not being in melee with it, moves back about 30 feet because I can move 40. So I've moved 5. So yeah, so I move about 30 feet, so I'm not within direct line of this.
Gotcha. Not lumping together for the juicy fire breath.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yep. Okay. Boof, boof, boof. You see this fire giant start barreling down the hill, and he is going to not be able to make it to you guys, so he's stuck with throwing another boulder, and this time it's going at not Sunlit, it's going at Livy again.
All right. One thing, because it's new to me. As a bonus action, I use Shield of Faith.
Okay.
Yeah, plus 2 my AC.
Yeah,
good. Just not some of this. Yeah.
A good idea. No worries. You can wreck on that. Livy has a higher AC than I'm 13, I'm assuming. This freaking giant has rolled a 1 and a 2 on both of its attacks so far. This is beautiful.
I think that's one.
All right. Octavios is now up, and I'm going to turn him into a heal bot. So he sees that some of you are damaged, and he is going to... He already cast Bless. Wait, I have Warndell open. That's not who I'm trying to do it. So I'm like, where's all his freaking spells? One of those are done. He is going to Cure Wounds on... Who's the most damaged? Warndell. Cure Wounds at a 2nd level. So there's one part of the healing. And then, oops. 8 more on top of that. Warndell, I messed it up the second.
8, I got it.
Yeah.
You're at 9, yeah.
Okay. And that is up for Octavios. He will not even deal with the imp that is biting into him. He'll run over to you and heal you. What do you do now?
I still got the imp on me, right?
Yeah, one's still that distance away, and he looks like he's getting ready to while up and come at you again.
All right. Perfect. Are these guys made of like rock and magma?
Yes, definitely.
All right. I'm going to use Shatter on these guys. They'll have a disadvantage on their saving throws if they're made out of organic material. I don't know how to make it have it, but I can drop the die on it. Which one is it?
The one that's on you is Magman 1.
Magman 1. All right. Let's see. I don't know how to apply the disadvantage.
Yeah, if you just drop the die on it, it should make it do it if everything goes correctly. Save 14 versus it didn't, but it failed anyways, so that's interesting.
And in that case, I will drop the number on there. Let's see, Magman 1.
Whew. Yeah, you literally shatter this little Magman. He's kind of laughing maniacally at you, and then describe what it looks like as you kill him.
So you can feel the ground rumble underneath you guys just a little bit. It seems to course up his body. His body vibrates a little bit. You see these sparks going across the skin. His bright new clothes have this bluish sort of energy. See his eyes change from his normal bluish color into this deep red. And he just holds out his hand, and he watches this magma just explodes into little pieces. And he glances over his shoulder at the other one to the side. I'm going to use my bonus section and my meta magic to do the same thing on the other magman.
Wicked.
Nice.
What number is the next one that's next to me?
Number 3. It's the only one left, actually.
Yeah, perfect. So I will just do it on that one.
And it failed, so I'm not going to roll again because that one doesn't really matter. And yeah, so you just double shatter both of these guys into little tiny pieces.
Sound looks like these sort of sound waves just radiate off of my hands, just as one, poof, and then the other. Poof.
It's almost like you guys are level 8 or something.
Then I turn and take a look at this giant that's coming down the mountainside of the smile.
Mm-hmm. Harshnag will do the same thing, but before doing that, he will turn on the Hellhound, who is harrying you guys, and takes Gert. And actually, he can throw his freaking thing. Let's do that. That sounds fun.
Never did that before. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Throwing attack. Oh wait, no, it has a range of 10. I get it. He can hit from 10 feet away.
Right.
Boof.
Sounds like
he natural 20 on the freaking Hellhound. Yikes. See you later, Hellhound, a gator. As
oh my god,
he does.
I saw those little black dice throw on there. How many was that?
Oh my god, I don't even want to tell you the damage that he did.
No, tell us. I want to know the number.
64 damage. As I can at least see 6 dice over 9. I rolled on that. Harshnag's done. There's no more Hellhound, to say the least. Livy. Oh crap, Livy is not back. So she was doing her rapier, so I'll just stick with that, and I'll let her roll at advantage because she can do so with her true strike, and that seemed to be what she wanted to focus on. So the fire giant's the only one that's left. Awkward. She has to move 30 feet, which she did, so she'll run up 30 feet on the giant and roll a hit and rapier. Hey, stabbing into it for 8 damage. You're back. All I did for you was rapier the giant because he's all left. And who am I echoing off of? I think I'm echoing off you.
Huh?
Yeah, it just started. But you're at the top of the initiative now, so go ahead.
I don't know. That was weird. Is it still echoing now?
Wait, hello. Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, but I need to talk. So, yeah. So the good old giant is still far away. I mean, there's nothing far away from her. So, he's within 40 feet of me. He said he moved towards us.
Yeah, he's 30 feet away now.
Okay, so I move within 10 feet of him because, again, I don't want to have to get unless he has range. But I'm going to do that, and I'm going to try to use my whip again, but use the Giant Slayer ability that it has because I've never done that before either. So if I hit him... 15 again. Mother trucker.
You earned at least 1 point of inspiration.
Why?
From beating Mary to locking into.
Oh, I did. Yes, I did. So I will do. No, I use advantage from Broomhilda.
Smarter. Brunhilde runs up as your first strike goes in, and then she basically gets in the way of the giant. 18, I believe, hits.
Okay. And we're gonna do this. So that's 10 damage. It also needs to make. Let me do this properly. So because I hit it, it must succeed at a DC 15 strength saving throw.
It did this time.
It did? Okay, or it would have fallen prone. But I ain't done with you yet. So we're gonna swing again. Hopefully I can roll more than a freaking 10. Let's see what happens this time. That's gonna hit. he needs to do that again. 15 saving throw.
This time, my friend, I apologize. He hit 15 right on the nail.
Ugh, lovely. I am going to use my key point again and do flurry of blows. Bam. 18.
That
That
does.
hits because it did before. And last but not least, one more of those fun little things. I didn't do a lot of damage, but fall down, bastard.
He did this time.
Okay, so she whips her whip around, and again, she's becoming very proficient, and it's almost a beautiful thing of her swinging it, and sometimes it's with the blade end, sometimes it's with the more bludgeoning end of it. And on her third strike, she does use that bludgeoning end, and she strikes him dead in the chin, and he kind of dazes for a second and falls over onto his back.
Poof. You see icy, snowy rocks kind of shatter under the giant's weight. He then kind of rolls over and picks himself up, this towering creature under.
Oh, sorry, I moved back.
Yep. You move away, right? Is that what you said? I muted you just because I was echoing off you. I'm going to assume you move away. And he will pick himself back up. How far did you move, Sunlit? Can I? 20 feet. All right, 20 feet away. That is lucky then. Unfortunately for you, Mary, while you were away, I just kind of followed the strat that you had with the true strike and the rapier. So the only guy that was left was the giant. So Sunlit moved away. You're kind of in front of him. That's what happens when you let the dog out. The giant will come thundering down upon you with its great sword, its great sword, and it will definitely hit.
If it's a questionable, like maybe it won't. She has shield that she would like to use.
26 on the first strike.
Bugger.
I'm assuming that is not questionable, and the second strike is 17 is questionable.
Oh, shield.
Poof.
As she gets hit, she's like, shield just in time.
So first attack comes through and does 25 damage, cleaving into you. You just get sent like skirting back in the snow, your feet dug in. It reels up again and does an overhand swing, and you're like, all right, that hurt too much. Nope. And then boof, its sword comes slamming into this thin sheet of arcane energy that blocks you, and you just look and it's like inches away from you. That's it for its strike. Octavios is going to see that you got hit really good, and
36 damage now.
Yeah, heal bot Octavios, which is how I'm going to play him whenever he's not here, is going to heal you. So on top of the initial D8, you're going to, that's not a D8, that's a D10. So 11 plus 15 healing points on you, Livy.
All right, so down to 21.
All right, that's it for Octavios. Up onto you, Warrendale.
Yeah. Seeing Livy get smashed, and at least she stops one of these things. Warrendale move across the ground. You can see his feet are just barely above the snow and ground here, but he floats a little bit towards her just to make sure I'm within range. I'm going to use lightning bolt. You can see this energy coursing up on his eyes, or this deep red color. Kind of throws his head back this time, and this just pulse of bluish electricity jarts off of him. So I'm going to do basically the same thing. Use my meta magic to use it as a bonus action first.
Yep.
And let's see. This is the fire giant.
He saved with a 21.
All right. If I drop all the thing on there, does it automatically figure it?
It should. Half, yes, it did.
Okay. And then the same thing again. So.
Oh, he's determined. He's dexterous as he rolls from one side. Poof, you shoot a lightning bolt. Again, shoot another one. Both hitting him, but just basically clipping his armor ever so slightly. He reels back up now, realizing that he's in for a fight of his life. He mistook you guys for small folk, but you are small, but you are strong. Anything else on your turn?
He's not in range of me, so yeah, I just move back if needed, but that's it.
All right, Harshnag comes coming in behind on his flank, racking down with Gert. He hits and does, what is the two different damages? I'm assuming one's two-handed and one's not two-handed. Oh no, okay, wow, interesting. He does a big cutting strike into the giant's back now, as he's being flanked upon by each and every one of you now, shooting bolts of lightning and rapiers and chain whips, knocking him over. He is now bloodied, Livy. As you see him pull his sword away, the energy of your arcane shield kind of receding. It's now just basically him and you staring at each other face down, straight on, with all your friends on the flanks, cutting into him.
Excellent. Well, she is definitely going to, feeling particularly blessed, you know. She's actually going to try and focus her energies of getting 2 quick shots in. So she's going to, do 2 attacks. 18.
18 will hit.
And 17.
17 will miss.
Darn. But yeah, so... And 9 points of damage.
All right. And did you heal yourself on Octavius' heal?
No, I'm not on fantasy grounds.
Okay. Right. I just realized that now. All right. Let me do that for you. As that's what I am.
What
did I say?
21 now, because I should have 10 plus the 26 for 36 for wounds. Then I got healed for 15, so that should be 21.
Yes. I like that math. Okay. You posture up with him, going with the old school rapier.
Yeah.
And doing a well job with it, fencing down this giant fiery foe. Sunlit, you're back at the top of the initiative. The giant is now bloodied and realizing that he has made a mistake. You're muted, my friend. Sorry.
Deuce. All right, yeah, so seeing that the creature is not in its best way, she calls upon her goddess, which she knows is where she gets all this radiant energy from, and closes her eyes again. They turn white when they open back up, acquires her target, and blinks again. They come back. When she blinks, a larger orb of radiant energy is displayed before her, and I'm going to blow all of my key points to do a massive
Kamehameha.
Searing Arc Strike. So it's basically Burning Hands at level.
Livy, duck.
Yeah, Olivia, move. I think it's so it's a level 2 to start. So yeah, at level 6. So no, level 5 because it starts at 1. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And I think
if it starts at level 1 and you spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key points.
No, I have to use 2 to use it. So
okay, I got you.
So then it's just 3 levels more.
Yep, you're right. My bad.
Oops. Let's see what happens.
So I need to make a dex save?
Yeah, 13. But it should. Oh no, I guess it is that is the number.
That doesn't look. I think you're not targeting it. Do you want me to re-roll it? Or I guess that's a fail, probably. So.
Yeah, I just don't know. I've never done that. I never had the button before, and now because I have spells, I have a button for that, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I think it made you, or it's just saying. Oh yeah, it's not a roll. It's saying what your DC is.
Yeah. So if I put it on him, does that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just roll the dice thingy over top of whoever.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, that didn't work either, but it still failed. because
failed.
It says he rolled a 3 plus 3, but he doesn't have a 3 modifier. But either way, with a 3, he fails.
Okay. So it's so we'll do this. I'll drop this on him, and then I'll roll the additional. This will be another 3d6. One, two. Oh, thanks. One. How much is that total? 12, 16, 17. Oh, that's not bad. 23.
Yep. And I drag it. So he is badly injured now for sure, but still has some fight left in him. Anything else on your turn? Yeah, you're muted, Corey. Sorry. We're battling the echo now.
I don't know why the echo's there so badly, but here, let me do something. It might be because I'm using my speakers, and it's never given me a problem before, but I'll change to my regular sound. Hold on 2 seconds.
No worries. Anything else on your turn while you're changing that?
There we go. Talk to me.
Hello?
Oh, it didn't change. You silly computer. Anyways, yeah, it's no. I don't think I have a bonus action thing.
Okay.
I do not. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
All right. Let's do it. He is up. Badly injured. Does he want to fight to the death? I doubt it. He will try to take down Livy. She's badly injured. Hitting with a 30, Livy.
No, that's not gonna hit her.
And hitting with a 25.
Ouch.
All right, Livy. This is not going to feel the best.
She's hoping for Yahtzee.
He drops you. So the second strike, he'll actually spin around. Sorry, Corey, I'm gonna. It's really loud again. Do. And he's gonna spin. And since you just Kamehameha him, Corey, or Sunlit, he is going to repay the favor and hit with a 28. So woof, his big greatsword comes slamming into Olivia. Then spinning around again, he riles up and drops it.
But I'm sorry, because of the new thing I have with cleric, I can impose disadvantage with one of the abilities, and I could look it up to tell you what it's called. You do it twice per, once per level of cleric, and I'm gonna use that right now. It is called. I was just looking at it. Warding fire. So out of her hands comes a amazing amount of just white light that blinds him temporarily, and he has to have that impose disadvantage on that.
All right. So second roll was a 26. First roll was a 28. Pick your poison.
No, neither of those hit.
Bright light, but he doesn't care. He knows where his target is. Slamming through on you. Fantasy Grounds went and rolled the concentration save for you, for your Shield of Faith, and you failed your con save. So your Shield of Faith is also gone now too, courtesy of Fantasy Grounds. That is it. And then he is going to spin around and tactically retreat because he knows that he's not going to be able to take you all on. So hopefully that dealing a devastating strike like that will be enough to distract you guys. And he spins around and begins to run away. He can't disengage though. So Sunlit and Harshnag. Oh God, Harshnag. I forgot about Harshnag. Get to swing at him.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Oh no, Harshnag crit again. Fuck. Now I remember why I hated having this guy. I feel like it happens so much.
Yeah, he's got pretty good luck. But let's see if the cat has better luck to hit him first, because I'd like to get the kill if I can.
Well, I'm gonna hit him first because he's not that close to dead. But now you actually have a chance to kill him.
Okay, go ahead.
Already done. Go ahead.
All right. And I'm gonna obviously use the whip to do so. So we'll drift it right on that dude. Oh my god!
One away.
I know what misses. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Because you're using up all the 20s, you jerk.
Yep. All right.
Go make Olivia alive, please.
Livy. Morandel or Octavius yells out, and I actually think that. Does he have any damaging spells? I feel like he'd be pissed that Livy went down, and she's not going to die. So he spins around and casts Scorching Ray on the giant, for he has made his friends suffer. And he hits, and Scorching Ray is the 3-beam one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Scorching Ray misses, but I'm going to make him spend one of his inspirations because I'm the DM, and that's what happens when you let me play your character, Dan. Misses, even on inspiration, and misses. So only one Scorching Ray gets through. Wait, casting at a higher level, though, lets you get one more beams. At 3rd level, 1 additional beam. So 1 additional beam. Come on, Octavius. There you go. 2 going through. So, bam. I'm an idiot. I swear I didn't mean to do that. I kind of trolled you guys. Apologies. He shoots 2 powerful Scorching Rays into the back of the Fire Giant. But then the keyword Fire Giant clicks in as he's completely immune to fire damage. That's my bad. Warrendell, you're up.
I'll just use my Ray of Frost. Apparently not.
Yeah, that is not going to do the trick. Anything else?
Nah. Do nothing else.
All right. Harshnag tightens his grip on the axe, and he looks to you, Sunlit, and says, "Do you mind if I do the honors?" You're muted.
So am I echoing still?
Hello?
Hello.
No, you fixed it. You fixed it.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, my speakers started to hate me. Anyways, but yeah. So she looks up to her large friend and goes, "If you don't, I have one less trick." And she's much more jovial than she's ever been, maybe.
Rare opportunity where you see Harshnag smile, and he says, "I won't fail." And he definitely hits. And let's see if he has some talk. Off goes the giant's head as one kind of spinning strike. Shing! As he's trying to walk away, you see the giant's head kind of slide off and then boof, topple to the ground. He falls down. Boom! A big plume of snow kind of falls where he was. And holy shit, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be for you guys. He is destroyed. When you search the area, you see that where he was basically sitting down, or where he initially started to throw the rock, that you find a couple of things that he had like a little encampment there, and he had like this big booming fire that has been burnt out now. But you see that he has this giant bag sitting there, and sitting next to it is a large 4-foot long, heavy looking adamantium rod.
Okay. Yeah, it's.
And then you notice that the giant's bag, begins to move.
I pick up the adamantium rod and poke the bag with it.
Okay, interesting. It's 100 pounds, so it's kind of unwieldy, but you do, and you just poof, you poke it, and you hear
I think it's an animal. I had to.
Sonny, open the bag. It might be one of your family members.
I don't. It's not very nice, Warrendale.
I'm just concerned about your family.
I believe I may be one of the very few tabaxi on this side of the water. Thank you, though, for your concern.
Don't mention
And
it.
she kind of pats him on the head a couple times, and then goes over and just kind of from the side, kind of opens up the bag and looks in there.
And inside, you see a white fleeced sheep. Bah! And then inside, behind it, 400 gold coins or gold pieces, 800 silver pieces, and 1,200 copper.
Oh, just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we would keep that kind of money because we're not dumb. And if you can divvy that up, because I know Fantasy Grounds does fun things like that.
Yeah, it definitely does.
That'd be cool. She'd look around the camp. That Harshnag, what would this rod be used for?
He curiously looks at it, taps upon it, says that it's adamantium. The rod has 2 prongs, one at each end, and a molded handled grip on the opposite end. And he will do a check on it.
Yeah, I'd like to do so as well.
Harshnag's not the smartest, actually. He says he actually has a really low intelligence, so he would shrug.
Is it investigation?
Yeah. You probably have a hard time figuring out what this is, but you can give it a shot.
13.
13. Blah blah blah.
Is it a giant cooking utensil?
I'll have to spit for your friend.
And then I'm just reading about it. Okay, with a 13, you don't notice anything with an investigation. Anybody else checking it out? Harshnag does not know he has a 9 intelligence. Seems like a rod, something that you would poke around in the ground with.
I don't think so. Warren, do you have any insight on this?
Yeah, I could take a look if you would like. Keep your family member under control and give me just a moment.
She smacks the sheep on the ass and it runs off.
It runs away.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not very good at investigation. I suck at it, actually. But
Yeah, me too.
I rolled these, I guess.
Interesting. So you notice that there is some form of arcane ruins written into the handle that would suggest that it has some kind of magic nature imbued upon it.
Well, it's basically a 4-foot rod with a bit of magic. Kind of like my penis.
Gross.
Ha! I kid. But otherwise, I don't know. We can probably hold on to it. Maybe Harshnag can carry it. We can sell it off at some town unless we figure it out otherwise. Maybe with enough time, I could take a look at it when we rest. But
yeah, Harshnag would carry it if you wanted him to. It's a big 100-pound rod, but
yeah, I'm not going to be able to carry it.
Yeah. If that's what you guys want, and then I'll put the money into the party tracker. We'll divvy that up at the end of the session, and then I will put the strange rod that does seem to have some kind of magical nature to it. You guys aren't taking the sheep, though. I'm a little surprised. Just kidding.
No, we don't need a sheep.
Every time that you guys fight a giant, I guess there's like a random bag roll chart, and today's random bag roll chart was brought to you by Living Sheep. Bah. With that, though, as we come near the end of this, Let me pull up some things here. Pull up that, and where'd my map go? Map, come back to me. Give me a perception check, everybody.
That's something I'm much better at.
Livy fails.
Warndale definitely does not. And neither does Sunlit. So we're gonna say that like an hour or so has passed, and you guys had really no reason to like stay here any longer. It's
Hey, wait, we never did anything about the unconscious Livy.
Oh,
I've been making death saves and posting them in chat.
Yeah.
Technically.
I'm gonna use Spare to Dying on her because I have it down.
Wait, I don't even see you posting chats.
Yeah, it's actually in the I didn't know what those numbers were for. There.
Here, Livy, you're back to life. See, I'm not a good Octavius. I don't know what to die. Apparently, he heals you.
But that's all right. You don't have to be a good Octavius because there's a Sunlit that has that spell.
I'm like over here, like they're just going to go investigate stuff. Okay, well, every minute I'm just gonna if that passes, I'm just gonna do a death save.
That was my bad. I jumped right into it.
Going on here.
But yeah, Livy, we bring you back. You guys can short rest if you want to. Probably actually decide to do that now before we go to the end.
Well, if it's, are we just gonna make camp and like sleep overnight?
It's still like the middle of the day.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I guess we can short rest. Sounds a good plan.
Just long enough for this headache to go away.
Yeah. So go ahead and spend some hit dice if you wish to. I'll spend one of Octavius's since he took a little bit of damage. What the hell? Oh, okay. I see. Guess I'll spend another one because he didn't fully heal. There we go.
What's Livy's health at right now?
44 right now.
That's pretty good.
Do you want me like? Sorry, 44 out of 52. So like.
Yeah, I guess like one hit die would be decent enough. Actually, no, she could like do second wind. And
yeah, I'll say that.
9. So
sorry. Let me re-explain this because I just realized that you're actually at Fantasy Grounds goes backwards. So you're at.
Oh, okay.
You're at 8 HP.
She'll still do 1 second wind, so D10 plus 8.
D10 plus 8.
And
okay, D10 plus 8.
I'm pretty sure because
you're right.
Plus level.
Yep. So nice. 16.
All right, and then I guess we'll do 2 hit dice.
Okay, I'll roll out for you since I can just do it right from Fantasy Grounds. All right, hit dice.
That's awesome for you. Oh wait, no, that one was me.
That one was not so awesome.
That's all right. Out of my hit dice, I rolled a whole bunch of really low ones.
You have 16 points of damage still on you. Do you wish to go further or keep it at that?
I'll do that for now. She'll get her second wind back and.
Yep. All right. So with that, you guys short rest, and we're actually then the perception check will come into play since you sat there for like an hour. And Octavia or Warrendale and Sunlit, you hear in the distance.
The 1970s disco song. What? Yeah, exactly. What? Did anybody else hear that? That was a bit strange noise. Or am I hearing things? Sound like a rattling sound or something.
20 and 18 spin around, and as you see in towards the sky where the sound is coming from, a strange vehicle hangs in the sky overhead. It looks like a wooden sleigh almost, but much larger in design and has a big giant air balloon on it.
I am totally having Livy scream head out. Oh my gosh, Santa!
I'm gonna kill all
you
you
heard the
guys.
stories? That one I thought was like actual legend myth, but
You guys are all getting TPK'd now.
a
Warrendale.
Narnia moment.
Warrendale, you recognize this. I don't know if you recognize this, but your character definitely does.
Okay.
As a familiar airship begins to fly towards you, and then poking their heads out as it's now coming upon you and you hear it letting out air of the balloon descend downwards. 8 figures dressed in all black begin standing along the rails. And you see one figure pull down her cloak and reveal her auburn bright red hair. And you see for the first time in a very long time, Delphine.
Ah, 'tis my lady friend.
She scours at you.
It's been a long time, my love.
It hits the ground. She says, "Shut up.
My loins have burned for you.
I hate you more than I hate anything.
But I love you. I've been waiting for you to show up."
And then she says, "We'll see if you say that in a short moment." And then from behind you hear the sound of footsteps, heavy. Dum, dum. And then a voice booming out. "Well, well, well. If it isn't my new employee, Warrendale." And you guys, for the first time, see this enormously fat man decked out in this dark red like suit of a noble. And he actually has like the 3-piece like penguin suit, and his belly is just protruding over it. He has this big fat head on him, and a double chin like a big ass frog, and you see a couple of like warts on it. And as he comes out, he literally looks like this big pit boss. He has all these rings over him, and he kind of adjusts his 3-piece suit, and you see that in his 3-piece suit is a bunch of wands that are just like put inside of it. Warrendale, for the first time since the beginning of the campaign, you see your good buddy, Old Snarl. And he says, "I've been waiting for such a long, long time to give you my employee review, Warrendale. How about you and your friends come aboard and we talk?"
Friends, what do you say? Want to meet my employer?
Is there a bed?
I imagine there is. Sonny, you'd be happy to know these are the folks that stole your shit, but I would keep that under wraps right now.
She sharply looks at him, but seeing that she is a different girl than she was when she was so angry about that before, she goes, "I really hope they don't do that again."
Nah, I don't think they will.
Or Snarl says, "I can't wait to see what little treasures you brought me this time, Warrendale."
Don't you worry. I got news. Don't worry.
And with that, we will end the session with Old Snarl, aka Klauth, showing up to say hello and give his
AKA baddest ass red dragon in the realm.
AKA, yes.
It's my friend.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Me and him go way back.
That is session 26. Precisely 26 3/4 episodes ago, Warrendale met Old Snarl and had his life beaten from him like he will never forget. Next session, we will have the grand reunion. So, thanks for hanging out, anyone that was hanging out, and thanks for playing, guys. Until next time, we're going to take a little bit of a 2-week break, I believe, or 3-week. I'm not 100% sure, but we're off for the next couple of weeks on this. I'll catch you all around. Anyone want to say anything in closing?
Bye.
Bye. All right. Ciao.